Today, we're diving into day 2 of Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking trial. The courtroom was tense as Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, took the stand to deliver harrowing testimony. Cassie, visibly pregnant, recounted a decade-long relationship marked by control, abuse, and exploitation. She described how Combs orchestrated freak-offs, which were drug-fueled sexual encounters with male escorts that she was coerced into participating in.
Rika, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
What was Sean's reaction when he saw Cassie enter the courtroom?
You know, attorneys say that this is the first time that they've met since 2018 when she attended the funeral for Kim Porter, which is the mother of Sean Combs' 3 children. So to watch Sean Combs watching her was really interesting because they haven't seen each other in at least 6 years. But he can't say anything. You know, this is a moment for him where he has to be silent. And right now we're hearing what she says in terms of what happened during the course of their over 10-year relationship.
These sessions, often recorded without her consent, left Cassie feeling humiliated and powerless. She testified about being physically assaulted, including a 2016 incident where Combs allegedly beat her in a hotel hallway, a moment captured on surveillance footage. The jury viewed this footage, which showed Combs dragging and kicking Cassie. She explained that she stayed on the ground during the assault because it felt like the safest place to be.
People know that she was that star witness, the key person in all of this. When you think about that civil suit that came out in 2023, that was settled the day after, she really is the person that connects all the dots. When you look at the indictment and you look at some of the charges, she's the one talking about the freak-offs and what was involved and how she had to act. The prosecution is asking her questions to show that she wasn't in control. She said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to these said freak-offs?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs, and I really did love him.
Cassie detailed how Combs controlled every aspect of her life. From her appearance to her career, she described being forced to apply baby oil every 5 minutes during their freak-offs and being subjected to degrading acts, including being urinated on. Throughout her testimony, Cassie became emotional, especially when discussing the psychological manipulation that she endured. She revealed that Combs insisted that she call him Pop Pop, the same name that she used for her grandfather, which she found deeply disrespectful. During cross-examination, Combs' defense attempted to highlight inconsistencies in Cassie's testimony and questioned her drug use. However, the prosecution emphasized a pattern of coercion, abuse, and exploitation.
And that is speaking to the psychological abuse in addition to the physical abuse that she potentially experienced as well.
She's definitely laying out someone who was young, who was influenced by wanting to have this record career. She signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment led by Sean Combs, and basically describes being enamored by Sean Combs, loving him, not knowing about certain things sexually, and him sort of telling her, teaching her about that. And what you hear is someone that was young and she even said, you know, I was young, I was naive, I didn't know any better. But she's really telling the story of someone who thought she was going to be with someone in this music industry that was going to help her career, that cared about her, but quickly learned after the freak-offs that wasn't the case. And what I thought was also interesting is she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty. She didn't want to do it. And when she brought up the idea of having a conversation about the freak-offs in an email, which the jurors saw, She said she backpedaled in the email because Combs responded by saying, I know, you don't want to do it. And she said, oh no, well, it's not that. But that was the beginning. That was in 2010, where she brings up in an email that she wanted to have a conversation about this. And in her words, she didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it.
Gosh, it's so difficult to hear all of these details. And since taking the stand, Cassie has been emotional. What made Cassie emotional on the stand?
I think what made Cassie emotional is having to describe the details of the freak-off and why she did it.
Let me just read a small portion of Cassie's testimony to you. It's quite disturbing, so be aware. Now, when I do this, I'm going to read Attorney Johnson's part in a deeper voice and then Cassie's in a more normal voice so you can distinguish the two. Were the freak-offs lit? Initially, it was candle, strong-smelling, Glade. Any other use of candle wax? A few times, poured on my body. Who set the temperature of the room? Sean. I was expected to do freak-offs on my period. Did you want to do that? No. Did you want to be urinated on? Objection. Judge, grounds? Asked and answered. Judge, overruled. No, I did not want it. How did it feel? It was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. Why were you choking? Too much urine in my mouth. Who else urinated on you? Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Which hotel charged the most for damage to the room? The Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Pretty disturbing. Pretty disgusting. The judge is deliberating on whether explicit video evidence can be admitted in the court. Cassie's testimony is central to the prosecution's case, which alleges that Combs operated a long-running criminal scheme involving sex trafficking, kidnapping, and related offenses. That is all for today's recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video informative, please like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on the trial. Stay tuned for Cassie's full transcript and day 3 coverage. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.